Hey out there, Wake Angel 2001 here. This episode is Eggman the Auteur. It's an episode where Eggman makes a movie. Okay, so let's do the basic plot synopsis. Sonic is waiting in line at Burger. Apparently Dave has actually taken some pride in the quality of his work as he's actually putting out proper orders, like getting the extra pickle thing right and, stuff like that. And it's surprising that Sonic seems to genuinely like the place. Just, I guess there's a certain thing for mediocre foods. I guess when there's literally one restaurant in existence, you just kind of develop a form of Stockholm Syndrome with it. But I digress. There's a loud rumbling noise when he wrenches his stomach, and when he goes to investigate, he sees a giant robot, reused from a previous episode actually. Recurring characters, although, yeah, reused assets, but I like to just think that they're recurring characters. The one that kind of looks like Gutsman, at least in the face, it's smashing things, and when Sonic takes it out, Eggman yells, "Cut!" It turns out he wasn't attacking anybody, but was really just, was filming a movie scene. So he asks Sonic if he'll be willing to play himself, which he refuses. Amy then confronts Sonic a little later and lets him know that Sonic is actually that since he refused to play himself in the movie, Eggman cast someone else, and he actually cast Dave the intern for the part. And Dave has been Dave is following the instruction to act like a complete tosser, basically, duh, I'm Sonic. Maybe if I smash the robot, the chili dog will come out. Said C. So yeah, I guess if Dr. Eggman was writing lines for Sonic, that is what he'd write. So Sonic agrees. So under Amy's encouragement, Sonic agrees to play himself in the movie, but Amy makes insistences that Sonic do things like Sonic won't do his own stunts, so they get Knuckles to do the stunts for him, and we get a few pratfalls where Knuckles gets crushed by giant fists, blown up by missiles, or for a change of pace, blown up by missiles and then crushed by giant fists. And then we get to parts where Dr. Eggman's line, where the scenes that Dr. Eggman is doing is there's just plot holes in the movie. Like Sonic points out that Eggman is an underdog character in the movie, but he's also a genius scientist with essentially unlimited resources. Kind of exposing the plot holes of the series overall, aren't you? Huh? So you have, yeah, that's kind of funny. That's an all-new kind of fourth wall joke. Not only are they poking at the fourth wall of this show, but they're poking at the fourth wall of the entire Sonic franchise as a whole. Although, superhero, why does Lex Luthor keep losing? He's like the richest, smartest guy in the universe, right? But, Superman. Alright, so Sonic says that he's not gonna be part of these scenes, so he leaves, and that's when Dr. Eggman says, "I hate that hedgehog." I hate that hedgehog. That was like his catchphrase from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon and the original Sad-Am series. I hate that hedgehog. It has been so long since I heard Dr. Eggman say it, and it's so delightful to hear it again. So anyway, Tails takes a look at the script and does some rewrites. That's what you need. You need a writer and you need an editor to make sure that the writer didn't go off the rails. So despite offering his role as editor, Sonic presents the edited script to Eggman, who looks it over and says he doesn't like the changes and he's not going to film it that way. But Sonic says that he's not going to act in the remainder parts if they don't change the script. So they leave each other. That's when he says, "I hate the hedgehog," by the way. So Orbot and Cubot come up and ask Sonic for help. It turns out that the whole film thing has been a ruse. That in actuality, during the final scene when Sonic fights the Drillbot, it would actually be digging up I want to say unobtainium, but it was something else. It's another mineral whose name is similar to unobtainium, unacquirable, something like that, which he would use to make a next generation of super robots. And upon making that next generation of super robots, he would then scrap all the old robots, which would include Orbot and Cubot. So Sonic goes and attacks the drill robot and destroys it. And then that's when Eggman shouts, "Cut!" It turns out that it was a double ruse. Dr. Eggman wasn't actually mining for minerals, he was actually just manipulating Sonic into appearing in the last scene of the movie. So with all the film shot, he takes it back to edit, and he edits the film, and he has a premiere night, and everyone's cheering, and they all sit down to watch the movie, and the scene starts to play, and Dr. Eggman has hair. Like, I'm guessing it's supposed to be the younger version of him. Now that I've finally grown my mustache, I can begin my quest for world domination! And everyone starts to laugh, and Eggman's wondering why people are laughing at his film, because it turns out that they were supposed to be hypnotized. But it turns out that Dr. Eggman got so excited about actually making the film that he forgot to put in the hypnotizer device in the camera. So it's just a regular film and not a hypnotizing device. Like, oh, so much for my triple ruse. So he kicks everyone out, and then he, Cubot, and Orbot just sit and watch the movie by themselves. Like, you know, it really did come out good. And a single tear flows down his cheek, and that's how the episode ends. You know, I know academically these episodes are only 12 minutes long, but they don't feel like 12 minutes. I feel like I'm watching a longer show, because tiny bugs flying around because it's like 96 degrees out today and bugs come out when it's this hot. Anyway, yeah, I don't feel like I'm only watching a 12-minute show. Like, the plots are complex enough that there's actually things going on, and I actually feel like I'm watching a full developed story rather than something that's just trying to get everything out real fast. And that's cool. I'm surprised that they can put so much stuff in a single episode. Like, they had a whole subplot with Sonic refusing to do the acting, but going in when he sees that his replacement is so terrible. We have Amy Rose being the usual Budinsky self, demanding Sonic not do his own stunts and all that. We have some pratfalls with Knuckles. We have like 2 giant robot fights. We have all this stuff, and it's all crammed into 12 minutes, but it doesn't feel crammed in. I am so surprised that they can put so much stuff in and yet keep the pacing right. That's just another great thing about this show. So, what happens next? What was I going to talk about next? Because I've already given the synopsis. Dr. Eggman looks hilarious with hair. Apparently he was blonde. Or at least wanted himself to be blonde because he put a blonde wig on. Oh gosh. Yeah, like, the recurrence of the line, "I hate that hedgehog." That made me squeeze so much. You have no idea. To hear that line delivered once again after all these years. It's like my brain rewound itself to when I was 7 years old again. Well, actually, no, I was 8 when the cartoon premiered. No, you know what? It was early. The cartoon premiered. The Adventures cartoon premiered in the spring of 1993 when I was still technically 7. I turned 8 in the fall of 1993, and that's when the Sad AM cartoon came out. But yeah, I got transported back into my young. Like, it was so cool. So yeah, it's nice to see Eggman is doing the auteur thing. Like Eggman has so many. Everybody has so many hobbies in this show. Like, Amy has every hobby that ever existed, while Eggman, he's been a chef. Now he's been a movie director. He's been he of course has his robots. You know, he's done they do things. These aren't simple stock characters, except for Knuckles the idiot. But even Knuckles has shown some interests in things. But I like how these characters can so believably do other things. That although it does really strain the logic. Although it's wonderful how they actually point out the straining in logic. Like, if you have so many unlimited resources, why do you have so much trouble defeating a single hedgehog? I mean, of course the answer is that Hedgehog is a superhero, but it's nice to see them take a jab like that. That's adorable. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. This episode got major points for reviving a single line, which is probably the textbook definition of reviewer bias on my part. But I still really like this episode. I thought it was funny. Okay, so this has been Wake Angel 2001 talking about Eggman the Auteur. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of Sonic Boom.